Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, hope you're doing well. Today, I thought I'd give you another one of my tales of drama. I'm just here quite stressed out, to be honest. We're having a few warranty claims come through at the moment. We're dealing with them the best we can. But I had said that this year was the year where, I really want to, try and make a decent profit, and I'm not just going to bow down and do every minor little quibble that someone has with a car that they've bought. So today we're talking about a Jaguar XE-S. So it's a 3-litre supercharged. We've had quite a few of those in recently, and this one was absolutely lovely. We sold it to a chap, subscriber actually. Seems like a very nice guy, but we have had a few issues. The chap lives in Lancashire, so he's not exactly close to us. He's had a couple of minor little issues that he wanted us to sort of rectify for him, which, I haven't really been involved with. Jason has. He thought he had a bulge in the tyre, so we've replaced a tyre for him remotely. He then said that he thought 2 of his wheels were buckled and he had those repaired. The most recent issue was that he's got a bit of a noise in his steering rack. So basically if it's on full lock and you rock it, there's a very minor little noise. In fact, we'll put a little clip in here, but we'll show you later as well. He's got quotes because he was concerned that this was, not safe. To be fair, I said, take it to a local garage that you know and get them to check it over and just make sure that it's not a safety issue, because unfortunately your warranty is not going to cover like minor little noises. It covers complete failure of things. I took it to his garage and funnily enough they said, yeah, it's incredibly dangerous and you can't drive with this. And he wanted to put forward a claim of about £3,500 in order to do that, which would have wiped out any profit we had in that car twice over. So it's just not doable for me. The chap wanted me to then buy him out of his warranty, aka send him some money so he could get it fixed, and quite frankly, would he have got it fixed or would he have just taken the money? I don't know. But either way, I just thought, do you know what? This is a near enough 10-year-old car on 60,000 miles. It drives perfectly fine. There's no faults in the car. There's nothing wrong with it. It just makes a weird little noise. And, we can't afford to spend £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 on changing this just because the customer's not happy that it makes a little bit of a noise. So I said, we're going to have to buy it back, which he was not that happy about because he spent some money on modifying it, which he thinks has added value, but I'm not so sure. But either way, I said, look, I just can't do it. This is the only option I've got. I'm going to give you your money back, and I won't charge you for mileage. I'm not going to give you any money for any modifications you've done to the car, for changing badges and blacking things out. But, we'll just try and make this easy, because I feel like if I was to pay for this problem, then there would be another problem. At one stage early on, he said that there was some lack appeal on the bumper and he wanted us to repaint the bumper for £300. I said, sorry, that's not happening. That was, any marks that were there when you bought it. And other things. I just felt like this would have gone on and on. So here is the car in question. Toby can show you on my screen. If we need to, we'll show you a screenshot of it. Absolutely gorgeous XE-S, as I said, which is the 3-litre supercharged. But yeah, this one's really striking. I really like the colour, and these wheels, I don't think they're necessarily, just the bog basic ones that come with this. They're really fancy. They're really nice, these wheels. So it kind of makes the car. With that in mind, remember the wheels. Let's pop outside and see the car that's actually come back to us. So yeah, as you can see, hasn't got the same wheels anymore, has it? I know he'd been going through a kind of program of dechroming everything on this car, and he did send us some pictures before sending it back, and he said he spent some money on the wheels. I thought he meant he'd painted the wheels black, which wasn't ideal, but just to resolve this issue, I would have had the car back. I know I'd had them diamond cut again, but they're not the same. They're not even the same size. These are 18-inch wheels, and what was on the car originally was 19-inch wheels. And there's a few other bits and pieces actually. So what I'm going to do, rather than talking to you here on the side of the road, I'm going to pull it up to the top of the forecourt and we'll look around the car and I'll show you this noise with the steering as well. Right, so the noise that our customer is concerned with is, let's try it on. Whether that's even it, I'm not sure. Let's try it the other way. Okay. There. If you kind of bounce it off the bump stop, there's a little click noise, which may well be characteristic for one of these cars, I guess. It doesn't seem to affect it any other time. Maybe there's a little bit of play in the steering, possibly, but whether that's characteristic of Jaguar XEs, I don't know. But either way, we had this driven back by one of our transport companies, and they all commented on how nice it drove. There's no problems with it whatsoever. We've got no foul coats on the dash. We've plugged it in. There's nothing in there for steering. Why would anyone spend £3,500 on changing a steering rack in this car? Which you can imagine is hugely involved when you've got a 3-litre supercharged engine, because when you're on full lock, mainly to the left it would seem, if you really work for it, you can make a bit of a clicking noise. Who knows? You might all be against me here, and you might say that, you know, it's completely unacceptable on your 9-year-old car with 60,000 miles, that there shouldn't be any noises from it whatsoever. It should be like you've got earplugs in. I honestly don't know. It doesn't really matter to me, because, I mean, the car's been modified. Let's get outside and I'll show you all the modifications. So, as we said, it's got completely different wheels on it. So if you're going to make any kind of questionable queries about the steering, you'd expect it to have its original wheels on. Can't really say whether there was a fault there before or after, or whether there's even a fault now, or it's just that it's got different size wheels. How will we ever know? He has blacked out these Jaguar things. Actually, I don't think they're necessarily blacked out. I think they're just aftermarket ones. What's happened with the grille? That, I think, is just, I don't know whether it's been painted. To be fair, it looks like it probably has been painted. So again, not ideal. It was kind of chrome or brushed or whatever original, which personally I think looked a lot better, especially with the wheels and these side bits here. And then round the back, I guess the last thing would be the Jaguar badge and the XE badge. These aren't original. They are double-sided foam stuck on horrible things. Originally it had Jaguar written underneath as well in chrome, and the XE badge was chrome. Hasn't done anything with the S badge, I don't think, unless that was chrome as well, and he's got another one of those. Oh, and like carbon fibre exhaust tip things. You probably can't see very well at the minute because they're dirty. Now, personally, I don't think there's anything really wrong with the car. It makes a minor little noise, perhaps, but we've ruled out that it's a safety issue. Car drives perfectly fine, no faults in the car, so not really an issue. But then to be expecting me to do something to repair it when it's had modifications like this and being returned to us for a refund, not in the state it was originally sent away. It's just night and day. It's not the same car. You can understand how it's frustrating for me. I did want to just draw a line under this and think, do you know what, we'll sell it to someone else who probably isn't as discerning, let's say, about a weird little noise in it. That's not me trying to hide something. I just think it's not a major thing. Or we would have traded it on and let someone else do something with it, but it's not the same car anymore, is it? And I'm damned if I'm going to pay for warranty repairs when it's been modified. Especially, we don't know how it could have been driven in that 1,500 miles. The first thing that we got was it had a bulge in the tyre, but actually when I looked at the picture, which I hadn't seen before, it looks like it had been pinched to me. So maybe it hit a pothole or something. Could that have affected the steering? Could that have affected the wheels that he said were supposedly buckled, but passed all of our tests and MOT, driving on the motorway perfectly fine? It just doesn't really add up to me. So what do we do now? Well, it's cold out here, so I'm going to go back inside and we will talk about it in there. So what are we going to do with this car? Well, as I said, originally, I could have lived with the fact that it had aftermarket blacked out bits of trim and things on it. It isn't to my taste. It isn't original. Therefore, it's not how I wanted to sell the car. Because this particular car, I will do it on some, don't get me wrong. We will do it on some cars. I think it suits it. But on this, I just think it would look a lot better. And if I was going to do it, I would have liked to have wrapped the original pieces, not change them out for some Chinese plastic. So I could have accepted that and I would have just repaid the guy without any charge whatsoever. He would have had 2 or 3 months of motoring for free, done 1,500 miles with no cost whatsoever, other than the fact that he's supposedly spent money on doing bits and pieces. But it hasn't got the same wheels. And I don't understand how anyone could think that they could do that to a car and then think that someone else is going to pay for any repairs after it. You know, you can't modify the car, change the wheels completely, and then expect us to cover steering parts, which I would have more than happily helped with, and sort of, we would have looked at it. But at this stage, you know, if there's a noise in the steering, was that a result of changing the wheels, going over potholes? Did something bad happen to the wheels because he hasn't got them any longer? Can't give them back to me, can't give me the original badges and things. So if I wanted to put it back to standard, it would cost me quite a lot of money. I'm just not getting into that. It's going to take too long, too much of a nightmare. So I'm going to return the car to the chap, and if he is unhappy with that, the fact that I've said, unfortunately, you modified the car, so therefore any warranty you had is voided. It hasn't come back to me in the original state that it was given to me, therefore I can't give you a refund for it. And even if I was to deduct the sort of devaluation that you've caused on the car, I can't find those wheels for a start. I've searched across eBay and I can't find them. I don't even know if you could get them from Jaguar these days, but if you did, you would be talking quite a few £1,000s to get another set of those wheels. So I just can't do it, and I don't want to get into it. So my only option is to return it to the chap, and if he feels like he is owed some compensation or whatever, then he will have to take me to court. But why should I be putting my hand in my pocket to do this when someone's done that? You can't go away, modify a car, and then expect someone else to kind of fix things for you. I mean, a lot of you are going to say, oh, dodgy dealer, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. But, you know, try and see it from my point of view if you were selling cars. And I'm sure a lot of you would be smug and say, oh, I wouldn't sell cars. I'd get a proper job or something like that. But we're trying to run an honest business here, and this isn't playing by the rules, basically. It's not fair to expect me to maintain a car. And what we seem to be getting quite a lot recently, and that was the case with this, when he said, oh, I found some stone chips on the bonnet or the front bumper even, which we didn't really look at, but we're talking really, really minor, like a stone chip, and then it's kind of maybe a bit of lacquer peel around it like that. Needs a whole new bumper done. It's not fair to buy a second-hand car that's been used for 60,000 miles and 9 years at a discounted rate from what it would have been originally, obviously, and then keep coming back to the dealer and expecting them to make it perfect for you. That's just not how it works. So, not the most cheery of videos. This will be an interesting one in the comments, so let me know what you think down below, and we will argue down there or hash it out. I don't know. It'll just be interesting to hear. I'm not trying to slate the customer here. I think he was actually a really nice chap, but I think maybe his expectations were slightly askew from reality. And we can't see eye to eye. That's why I wanted to just kind of refund it and move on. So no slight against him. I'm just trying to give you the honest insight into what it's like being a car dealer, because a lot of people will say, oh, I really want to get into car dealers as I watched you, and it's not quite as easy as you might think. There are really stressful situations with big chunks of money like this where you've got to make some tough decisions. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, I've waffled on enough. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you're not in time you probably are in time for the 100,000 watch giveaway. You can find that on feelgoodcompetitions.com. And the next one is being given away at 200,000 subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed. You'll be in with a chance to win. That is it. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully a more upbeat one. Bye-bye. Right, so update on this Jaguar XE. It's probably a couple of days later than when we filmed this. In fact, maybe 3 or 4. My cold has definitely developed, so if I sound nasally, that's why. I've come to an agreement with the customer. So the customer came in to collect the car again. I did say, look, previously I said I will pay the transport cost to get this car back to you, and that'll be it. He said, look, I'll come down on the train. Would you pay my train fare? Which I've done. Got here and I said, look, if it wasn't for the wheels and it being different and the fact that it's been modified, you've got to see it from my point of view. Very understanding. We're trying to work together. In the end, we said, if he could go away and find another set of those wheels to go back on, then I'd still buy it off of him just to draw a line under it. He's managed to find some, but they're freshly refurbished in black. Now, on second thoughts, I thought, well, I'd like to put them back to standard with a polished face. But, speaking from experience, sometimes if a set of wheels has been diamond cut too many times, they can't take any more off. There's not enough material left on there. So it's a bit of a risk, and it would mean that I'd have to stick with a blacked out car. And I thought, if he's going to spend that much money on a set of wheels in order to get a refund from me, why doesn't he put that towards doing the steering? And I said, I'll make a goodwill gesture. How about if I give you 500 quid towards carrying on with sorting out this click if you want. And he has accepted that to draw a line on it. He's found it stressful as well, to be fair. We both have. So that's what he's done. So I've just sent a payment of £500 plus the extra for the train, and that should be the end of it. No hard feelings. It's not, I've lost more on cars, don't get me wrong. It's just a case that, it was just an awkward one, wasn't it? It's been modified. It's not the way it was. it's a minor problem that wouldn't normally be covered under a warranty. But I feel like we've probably, hopefully, got a resolution there that should satisfy everyone. He can go ahead and do what he needs to do to that car to make sure that he's happy and satisfied with it. And, you know, I may have lost money on this one, but that's fine. It happens. I just don't want to feel like I've gone really out of pocket for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I think we've come to a fairly fair resolution between the two of us. So just an update for you there. This isn't trying to slag off the customer, just a case of like explaining how awkward and tricky these situations can be. And it's hard for both sides. And there's a part of you that's trying to be a business person. There's a part of you that's trying to be a good person. Sometimes it's just hard to, you know, sometimes you can be too nice and then it ends up biting you. So that's that. Just a little tale of the motor trade for you so you can see what it's really like to be a car dealer. That is it for this video. I've probably said all the other stuff I need to say before. So thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.